Hello and welcome back. We've arrived at chapter 5 in the text, Healing and Wholeness. And this is a beautiful subject, isn't it? We're going to spend some time today talking about what healing is from the introduction to this section of the text. Now, what is healing? Well, the world, of course, has many, many different ideas about what healing is, and they all inevitably involve the physical body. They may or may not involve some mind training or a component of mind training, but mostly when the world thinks of healing, it thinks of the body. It thinks of healing the planet itself, ecologically, that sort of thing. And yes, sometimes people think about and go to work on healing the mind. So here in the thought system of A Course in Miracles, the central teaching is there is no world. How about that? This is a course in mind training. So as you've most likely gathered, and if you're an experienced student, you'll have seen this idea many times, healing is of the mind. Healing is of the mind. Now, the physical body may or may not follow that, and it often does. But just because you heal the mind, if you have a chronic condition, something that might be very serious, such as cancer or diabetes or something like that, there is not any guarantee that the physical body is necessarily going to overcome that and kick it to the curb. Right? That's really not the point of healing. Remember, you're not a body. There is no world. That's what this course says in many places. So I am not personally making this up. The fact that you're here studying A Course in Miracles tells me a number of things about yourself, and they're all excellent. Number one is you're listening. Listening to what? Your inner teacher. You're listening to that voice that tells you that there's got to be something more beyond what appears to pass for life here in the world, our daily existence of taking care of the physical body's needs, going to the bathroom, eating, sleeping, having a glass of water, and then doing whatever it is we do to keep the lights turned on, work, whatever that looks like, however we busy and occupy ourselves all day long until we become physically and mentally and emotionally exhausted and fall asleep at night and get up the next day and do the whole thing all over again. There's more to life than that, right? There's more to it than that. You know this, and you're responding to the voice that is prompting you to practice, is prompting you to study spirituality, to pursue, so to speak, spirituality. Yes, that's excellent. That's excellent. The highest form of offering you could ever give anyone, anywhere, is your dedication and commitment to spiritual practice. So, whether that looks like your full on practice of A Course in Miracles, whether this is your primary spiritual practice or not, doesn't matter. The fact that you're interested in this is a guarantee that you can't go back to the way things were, because it will seem completely unsatisfying to you, and odds are it'll seem unworthy of you too in the end. Remember, awakening is inevitable. It is. We've never left our source. We've always been alive, awake, in God. This is a dream. The more we tell ourselves that, the more we accept that, the quicker what we call progress on the path will seem to be. So let's take a look at the idea of healing and with the invitation to make yourself happy, because to heal is to make happy. We've moved on to now chapter 5 of the text called Healing and Wholeness. Today we're looking at the introduction to chapter 5. And to heal is to make happy. Wholly joyous. What's happy? The physical body is not happy. The mind is happy. Mind training. Yeah. The physical body, when you think about it, does whatever the mind tells it to do. The brain is simply an organ. Yes, it's beautiful and complex and highly intricate. It does what the mind tells it to do and then directs the physical body's impulses as a result. We're invited to consider an idea that we've seen recently here in the text. How many opportunities we've had to gladden ourselves and how many of them we've refused. Constant opportunities to make ourselves wholly joyous and happy, and we have chosen fear. Instead, we've chosen guilt. We've chosen to lash out and blame. We've chosen to put spirituality to the side and focus on our gritty competitive world and fighting with our neighbor, fighting with ourselves. Rather than forgive, we've chosen to withhold forgiveness countless times, right? How many times? This is tantamount to saying we've refused to heal ourselves, and we have. So let's not do that any longer, shall we? Let's take up the call to heal the mind. That's an invitation that goes out to all of us all the time. The call goes out to every single one of us. No one is accepted from that because there is no separation of any kind. So the question for us becomes, are we going to listen? And you're listening. That's a beautiful thing. So to heal is to make joyous. Summarizing these 3 paragraphs that comprise the introduction to chapter 5 of the text. To heal is to make joyous. And everyone benefits. As the Course tells us, all of the sonship benefits. Now, the sonship is the Son of God. It's every single living thing. So we're shown something that's very powerful and very beautiful here. That is that gratitude is due to our brother. Profound, sincere, deep gratitude is due to our brother, because when someone has a loving thought, when someone, anyone, anywhere in the world has a beneficent thought, when someone forgives, the entire sonship benefits. Why? The sonship is one. There is one Son of God. Everyone benefits from every loving thought. The magnitude of even the simplest extension of love can scarcely be guessed. We don't have any idea, but it's more profound than we could possibly imagine. Remember the opening line from the text of this course: there is no order of difficulty in miracles. So raising the dead or healing the sick, walking on water is just as miraculous as smiling at your neighbor out of sheer love and kindness and wishing them good morning. That is no less miraculous than moving a mountain an entire mountain chain with the power of your own thought. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. Each and every single action, thought, no matter how small, anything loving benefits each and every one of us more than we could possibly imagine. Is this exponential? Yeah, it's more than exponential. The more of us benefiting the entire sonship at the same time, the quicker awakening comes. And yes, it is possible for a number of people to truly forgive and create a critical mass in a good way. This is inevitable because ideas leave not their source. We are an idea. You are an idea. I am an idea, the thought of God, which leaves not its source. So does that leave any questions about your true identity? I hope not. I hope it does not. God is the author. We're the thought of God. We're one with our Creator. Like extends like. Love, when you think about it, can only extend itself. It cannot extend hatred. Hatred's not love. That's why we appear to be so torn here in the world when we identify as an individual ego, because our minds alternate between loving thoughts and hateful thoughts, attack thoughts, thoughts of individuality, of blame, of wanting to condemn. Yet every loving thought is saved for us. Jesus tells us right here in a later section of chapter 5 that he saves for us every loving thought that we've ever had, and not just individual I've ever had, it's everyone. There is no individual I. I hope that just talking about this for a few minutes gives you an idea of the magnitude and power of mind and our power as Christ, the strength of Christ. Christ does not simply refer to the historical Jesus. It's the Son of God. You are the Son of God. So it's very powerful. And in spending time on this, the hope here is that it will inspire you to practice. That's what I hope, is that it inspires you to go forth and extend love. Our joy is increased by sharing it, not by keeping it to ourselves. That's ego. Our joy is increased by sharing it, by giving it away. Joy is an idea, after all, that's increased by sharing it. When you give it away, you're not out joy. When you extend joy and love to your brother, it's strengthened. Your brother now has the joy that you've given him. And it will be his choice, her choice, their choice to extend that further. But the fact that you've given it is going to make that all the more likely, isn't it? It's up to us to extend love in the present moment. And the more of us that do that, the more pervasive it appears to become. It's all there is. When we say the more pervasive it appears to become, means that clouds of doubt, clouds of guilt, the fog of guilt, if you will, is being lifted and the light is more visible. We begin to recognize it's who we are. So it's a wonderful thing that we benefit from any loving thought anyone has anywhere in the world. We don't have to physically meet this person, but gratitude is due our brother for that. And gratitude should be due our brother anyway, because they are us. So at the very conclusion here of this short introduction, Jesus gives us what he calls the healer's prayer. Let me know this brother as I know myself. Yeah, let me know this brother as I know myself. Your brother is yourself. There is no separation of any kind at all. All we're doing on the spiritual path is removing the blockages to this awareness. If you want to consider it taking down a wall, okay, we're taking down a wall lovingly, not necessarily with a sledgehammer full of hatred and rage, not like that. We're lifting a veil, so to speak. We're peeling the layers of an onion, to use a very common analogy from spirituality worldwide. We're removing the barriers that we ourselves have put up. We put up the wall, we can take it down. And as we begin to remove this a piece at a time, an act of kindness, an act of forgiveness at a time, the light begins to shine through. The more the light shines through, the more we are inspired to practice. So may the light shine through right now, today. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That would be excellent. So I mean it when I say that your dedication and commitment to practice are the most important offering you could ever make anyone, anywhere, much more important than a simple act of service, much more important than a donation of money. It's the most important offering you can make, your dedication and commitment to your spiritual practice. So above all else, that is what I thank you for, and for all of your kind and benevolent thoughts, because every single one of us benefits from your forgiveness. So let's all keep going. All right. And you're more than welcome to join me here. Questions are most welcome. Comments are most welcome. And the subscription button is the red arrow right over here. I'd love to have you join me. So please go ahead and subscribe if you've not yet. What you will see on this YouTube channel is a number of 15 to 20-minute videos a week. We're going through the text of A Course in Miracles, and these are appropriate for all experience levels, from a beginning student to someone that's been doing it for 30 plus years. It's all relevant, and it's also relevant if you're simply popping in and checking this out and you're wondering what this Course in Miracles thing's all about. Anyway, well, going home, awakening. Yeah, just that. So you're more than welcome to join me. And in my bio is the link to my Patreon page, where I have a weekly live stream with live Q&A. So if that is something that interests you, please feel welcome to check that out. And let's all just keep practicing today and every day. All right. And make ourselves happy, heal, make ourselves joyful, truly joyful. Thank you.